Welcome, everyone. This is Kanal, Black Man Travels. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Hope you guys are doing well. It's the middle of the week. Great to be excited that you only have 2 more days before the weekend. So, we have an interesting conversation today. I think there's things that we need to have a fun conversation around this particular topic. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's been a huge craze about passport bros. Everything, everywhere you go is about passport bros. And granted, I understand the movement. You know, the bottom purpose of the movement is to get more Black men to travel. And again, I'm a huge advocate of this. I've been telling Black men through my platforms to travel, get your passport, see the world. There's more to see and do beyond your city block, your state, and your own country. And as I said before, I think I said this earlier in the week, Black men have been traveling for a very long time. The way we travel, we kind of kept everything on the low. We just never really publicly stated that, hey, we're traveling. We're more the low key. We just go and enjoy ourselves, either be a guy's trip or a solo trip, a guy, taking a trip by himself to a particular country, but we never really broadcasted. Like, we never really pumped our chest. Like, hey, I'm going here for this. We never done that. Even with the whole social media movement, when a lot of the travel groups were starting back in 2014, 2015, we still kept it amongst ourselves. Your private chat. And one of the things that we always did is like, listen, no matter what we do within these small communities of travelers, and again, we had Black men going to Europe, going to Asia, going to Latin America, going to Africa, and there was a lot of subgroups that actually talked about traveling and also always educating other Black men to travel. And of course, one of the main incentives to travel were, you know what, you're going to see beautiful women. I mean, as much as I don't want to lead this conversation with that, but and for most guys who travel, is one of the primary reasons why they travel. So traveling has been here for quite a while, and now there's a big social media push around passport bros and the purpose of why Black men are traveling. It seems like the current storyline is that Black men are traveling for submissive women. That's the reason why Black men are traveling for, and that's just like the only reason being pushed down everyone's throat. Black men are unhappy with the westernized women. They are unhappy how things are, the legal system, the child support system, like all the multiple reasons why they decide to get a passport and travel. Personally, for me, I always felt like, that's not the primary reason why you should travel. There are tons of other reasons why you should travel, but hey, I understand it's a big topic around social media. You have men, women from a variety of different ethnic groups within the United States and Canada and UK talking about this topic. So I wanted to really set the level of expectations. There's a lot of new guys getting their passports, and they're leading with their wallets, not really thoroughly thinking or planning in how to maneuver in these countries. So I want to create, a conversation around that. And I think you have a lot of YouTubers out there are really painting this perfect picture and how things are in these other countries, when, to be honest, it's really no different. If anything, things can be more challenging because you're not from that particular country. You were not raised in that particular country's system, nor do you understand the culture, the norm. In most cases, we don't even know the language. But yet guys are being constantly pushed to go to these countries to live, find a wife, and start a business, not understanding that there are norms, rules, and way of life doing certain things within these countries. So I want to go ahead and talk about this. Again, I think there's a lot of guys who are delusional. They have this fairy tale mindset in regards to traveling. They think that the grass is greener than the other side. And for most people, it is, depending on how much you're willing to put in the work. And again, I always state that the amount of time and effort you put into something will determine the success of your outcome. So if you just picking up your passport, pick a destination, just show up, I don't think you're gonna have a great time doing that. However, if you take the time to study, understand how things operate in a particular country, you're more than likely to tend to have a higher successful rate versus someone that just get your passport and go to Brazil, go to Dominican Republic, go to Colombia, go to Thailand. They're gonna worship you. All the women are submissive. They're gonna fall to you and they're gonna wash your clothes and fold your clothes and cook you dinner. That's like the narrative being pushed constantly. And for the true travel veterans in this game, we know that things are not the way it seems to be. A lot of people don't know there's a movement that's happening right now all across Latin America, Africa, Asia, where women want their rights. They want their civil liberties. And you know what? I don't blame them. I want them to have it. Like, a lot of you guys have not seen how things operate in these other countries. So you have this fantasy warped perspective thinking that things going to be like, black and white. But it's never like that. Most of these countries have racism, colorism, classism. The same things that we have here in the States, they have in their countries as well. Some countries is worse than the tongue is twisting. It's worse than the United States. But we don't promote that. Always just telling guys get their passports, show up, and everything's gonna fall into place. Then you have some other YouTubers are talking about, hey, these women are submissive, they're gonna do everything you told them to do. No, that doesn't work like that. Because here's the problem. A lot of you guys don't understand the importance of being a man. If you raised in a household where you believe everything's 50-50 and you have that mindset, that 50-50, we share responsibilities, it's not going to work overseas. It's not. A woman's not going to submit to you if you're an asshole. A woman's not going to submit to you if you're not doing your thing as a man. You're not providing, you're not protecting. So thinking that, hey, because you're just an American with a passport, women are just going to fall on their knees and just sweat you here and there, and it's like it's going to be that easy. Nah, most of the veterans that currently live in these countries or who have been traveling to these countries for quite a while understand that it's not that easy as everyone think it is, especially if you're not willing to put the time and effort into it. So I just want to say this, man. Global paper says 98% of black men traveling are delusional. The travel game is weak. They can't speak the language. They don't understand the culture. They are in these countries making themselves and us look bad. I agree. I totally agree with that, global paper. A lot of these guys don't understand the culture norms and way of life in most of these countries. So they think that, hey, you know what? I'm just going to show up and you know what? I'm going to find me a baddie. Like, guys, I'm going to keep it frank with you guys, especially the guys that are going to Latin America. Most of these women out there are vain as well, man. They pay attention to classism. They do care what other people think. And for you to think that you could just show up and get a baddie or get this particular person without putting any work is delusional. Straight up delusional. So we're going to have this conversation. Again, this is an open forum. Anyone that wants to call in, please dial in. As I said before, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that's telling you guys to go out there and show up and you're going to find a baddie and don't worry about nothing else. Things going to be super easy for you. And it's never the case. It's never the case. I've seen men get played royally, get played very, very hard, worse than how women play games here in the States. I've seen guys walk away crying because they realized they just got played. Big H the Traveler, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, man. Just gonna be an interesting topic. It's an open forum. I just wanted to address this whole passport, bro. And again, it's not everyone. I'm only speaking to the ones who are delusional, the one that think that, you know what, I'm gonna get my passport and everything's gonna be peachy and cream. It's like, hey, you know, my life's gonna get easier because I'm gonna find me a beautiful woman. So some of these do a beautiful young woman where she's gonna do everything I'll ask her to do, and I don't require to do anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your take on this? I mean, you've been around the block. I mean, what's some of the foolishness that you're seeing and hearing out here in these streets about, you know, men are going overseas to find women, knowing that most guys do not get in a relationship with foreign women. Seriously, they go for one thing and come back home.
Exactly. But they go over there thinking that the passport basically gives them, like, what can I use as an example? Everybody that's I'm sure a lot of people have played the Super Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you get that star.
Yeah, that speedy star.
That speedy star. And it's pretty much like that's what they feel like happens when they gain that. It's like you feel like you become Superman, and you do not. Man, there's so much that you have to establish yourself as a man, and to have certain things going for you already, things that you've accomplished within yourself before you can even think to go to different countries and think that just gives you a pass. No, man, you have to do the work within yourself, and stop thinking that a government issued book is going to make you invincible. It doesn't.
So what are your thoughts with you got a lot of people telling guys get their passport and just show up, just get your passport and get there, and you figure everything else later? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Anybody that's dumb enough to just go ahead and take that as gospel, you have to seriously think about your own priorities. There's so much that goes into after you get off that plane. There's so much things that you have to factor in. There's so much things that you have to do your research on, how to move, how to learning the language, understanding the culture, just understanding exactly what is different, because again, you're in a totally different country, so it's totally different customs, it's totally different ways of life, and you have to actually know something about that before you even step foot on that soil. To say that oh, you can just come over here, just no, you have to do your due diligence to understand what's going on and what you're stepping into, and that's within anything in life.
And that's the thing. It's just like the way they make it seem is that, you just get your passport, show up, you're gonna have tons of women submitting to you willingly, willingly. And right. They talk about, how, she could wash my dishes, she could fold my clothes. Like, for me, I'm Haitian. I was raised around that.
Same here.
So like, that does not impress me. I understand some guys never experienced that, but for me, someone doing that is like, I could do it myself.
Right.
So like, when guys are constantly talking, there's one particular YouTuber, man, he's so caught up in this whole, like, man, every country he talks about is, the submissiveness. But I'm like, bro, are you a man? Are you handling your business for her to submit to you? Because the way marriage works, you have to submit to each other.
Absolutely. Do you play that role already? Are you already someone that's already within the parameters of that role? Because if you're not, and you're expecting, the passport to do that for you, you're straight up delusional. You're going to get your heart broken. You're going to get ran over. You're going to get railroaded.
And
because, yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna chime in on after what.
That was me finishing my thought.
You know what the crazy thing is? Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it a buck here, man. Most of the guys are going to the same countries,
right?
And we know that because you and I, we met up a couple of times, man. And they go to the same places, the same city, the same neighborhood. You understand where I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So they literally chasing the same women. And we both know that there's tons of women out there playing these guys like a fiddle.
Oh man, and it's the same ones.
It's the
It's
same.
the same ones.
it's
It's the
so
same ones.
she sells you an illusion that you're the only one, but really there's probably one, two, or three other guys coming after you.
Oh man.
Because you never made the effort to go outside of that tour zone. You never made the effort to really expand your traveling choices.
Right.
And really network with the community, embrace yourself within that community. You go to the same watering hole where every other guy goes to.
And they get angry when
they get angry. You post a picture. Hey, you never back in the Facebook days when people used to post a picture like, hey, do you know this person?
Yeah. That's throughout. That is throughout a whole lot of these WhatsApp groups. It's nuts. It's like,
look, I've seen fights, two brothers from the state fighting in another country over the same person. Wow. And I'm like, you guys are going to the same place, dealing with the same people.
Right.
And she's like selling you this dream because all it takes for her to get you is to wash your clothes, wash your dishes, and top you off.
For that's the world to a lot of people, to a lot of the guys. They think that's that is the pinnacle, because again, they're just so not accustomed to it that when they get there, it's like they feel like, oh man, this is the pinnacle, this is the best that I've ever gotten. So I'm gonna fight for it. But then it's like, guys, man, it's a total waste of time, because it's all a sham. It's all a game.
Now, again, guys, we don't want to give anyone the impression that you can't find love if that's what you're looking for, but don't leave your purpose and why you're traveling. This whole Passport Bro seems to focus around women. That's what I'm getting. I mean, I'm not sure if you're getting that impression, but it just seemed like it's no longer about you exploring and really, experiencing life for what it is. It's all about finding a woman or meeting women. That's the perception that I get around the Passport Bro. It does not focus around actually traveling, learning, and doing certain things.
Yeah, it seems that seems to be the narrative that is being thrown around. Like every single time that you hear that particular term, and whatever debate or forum that you hear it mentioned, it's always that pursuit. It's always the pursuit of just that one thing, as opposed to expanding your knowledge, expanding your horizons, seeing someplace different, experiencing the cultures, different cultures that the world, that you would most likely not ever see here in the United States. So, that is the association with that term. And a lot of seasoned travelers and people that are out there looking for things other than that are pissed off that that's the narrative.
Yeah, because people who've been traveling for quite a while, they understand like, hey, this is part of the game of traveling. Right. Now, there's a possibility like, hey, you may meet someone that's a very genuine person. Yes. Mm-hmm. However, you need to make sure the same vetting process that you apply here in the States, you do it overseas. But what I'm noticing, the guys don't do that overseas. Like, they're quick to like say, hey, I'm not going to date a single mother in the States, but yet they date a single mother overseas. Oh man, you know what? Hey, you know what? Listen, man. Did I just
you hit them too hard? You hit them too hard, man.
Wait, did I just
Woo! Yeah, kill shot.
Hey, I'm just saying, isn't that the same as the guys who are complaining about, single mothers and all this foolishness, women wearing weave and all this stuff? They're doing the same thing overseas. It's like you're kind of contradicting yourself.
Yeah, but it's this whole thing where, it's not happening around the people that I am complaining in front of. so they're not gonna catch me in my lie. And no, man, it's you still got to face yourself at the end of the day. You still got to face you and contradicting yourself when you know that you are.
Well, here's the crazy thing is just like again, guys, don't get it twisted. I look, Hank, I've been called a hater. And I'm like, bro,
For
if you
what?
know me, because I don't understand the whole purpose of this. When I felt like when the OG set me down and understand the importance of traveling and the virtue that you could actually gain from this, I took that
Mhm.
seriously.
Right,
And they taught me the value of preparing, researching, understanding the culture, learning the language. I learned how to speak Spanish. I think being Haitian, we pick up other language a lot quicker
very quick.
Because Creole is Latin.
Right,
So learning Spanish come easy. Learning Portuguese comes easier for us because we already speak another language.
right,
So when the OGs at the time would tell me about traveling, man, they never. I mean, they talked about the women. It's like, yeah, you're gonna meet some of the most beautiful women, which I agree. However, it's like, listen, don't get it twisted. They still see you as a come up.
right,
And the thing is, that's everywhere. Not just the United States. That's everywhere, guys. You
right.
thinking that you're not gonna find someone that is not a gold digger, that's not gonna use you overseas? What? You gonna? They see you as an American first, American man with resources. The fact that you're able to pick up, you're able to board on a plane, travel there, that gives you a status.
Right. And you'll be um I don't know. I just don't understand the delusion sometimes. It's like you you're thinking that you're not looked at for. I mean, you got to understand that when you show up, that you're the perception of you is what's the guy's name? What's the bald guy in Annie? What do they call him? I want to butcher it. Uh, Daddy Warbucks. I think that's his name.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
from
that's
Amy,
what.
right? From Amy,
Yeah,
right?
Annie, Annie.
Yeah, Annie. Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
was a kid show. I remember that.
yeah. That's what the perception is of you. That's everybody's perception of you. You're a come up. You're a That's the taxi drivers. That's the people that are just waiting at the airport. That's the vendors, the people at the restaurant. Everywhere, everyone is looking at you that way. So how do you expect, not to be looked that way by, you know, the those that you're pursuing?
And again, guys, I don't want to give anyone the impression that everyone's like that, and it's not.
No,
But if you're
absolutely
if
not.
you're constantly going to the same watering hole, the same destination, yeah, more than likely they are. Because again, if you're not willing to break away from that tourist zone area and really embrace yourself in that particular country, learn the culture, understand the norms and the laws and how everything works, more
Hmm.
than likely, man, is what it is. Go out there, have fun, and come back home. You painting this perfect picture that this utopia that how things gonna be a lot easier for you because you got a foreign woman. That's not always the case.
Not the case, that's kind of the reason why a lot of the guys they would remain silent.
Oh,
They're not. They'll remain silent, man. Like whatever it is that they're doing, they'll just go ahead and just not talk about it at all.
and also,
Because I mean, because like they, they're the ones that are there for the traveling, that are excuse me, that are there for the culture. They're there to immerse themselves into something different because they've only known one place all of their life. They've done the research. They've took the time to learn some of the language, to learn some of the cultures, the customs. You know, there are guys that go to, you know, uh, there's something that interests them about that particular country. Colombia, Nicaragua, these places, there's cigar enthusiasts. There's that people that are enthusiasts about when you go to Cuba, the old school vehicles, people that are car nuts. These are the reasons why they travel. Are you still able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, for some reason it just
Um, I wanted to say this. And let's put some dollars behind this.
okay.
Is traveling overseas, is okay? Is traveling overseas a affordable lifestyle?
No, it's not.
Explain to me.
It's not because the thing is that you're putting in a lot of you're making expenditures that you wouldn't usually make in your regular life just for I mean if you think about a let's just say a weekend a weekend trip, right?
Hmm.
On a regular weekend you're not spending that money,
I agree.
you're spending a whole lot more. So it doesn't come cheap whether no matter how you look at it. So I don't think that it's something that you definitely have to have a certain type of lifestyle or at least a certain control over some resources to be able to do that. Just my
And
take.
no, no, I totally agree. And just to answer that question, it is not unless you have a. And I talked about this, a few times in regards to like guys, is creating a opportunity cost where you sacrifice one thing to do another.
Hmm.
So if you're willing to forego your gratification here in the States to live it up for three days overseas, then definitely do it. But that's not realistic. I know
No.
that there's something that's called a monk mode, where a lot of guys would just go hardcore for 6 months, 7 months out of the year, just to
Yeah.
go party hard for 2 weeks, and they go back to monk mode. That's not ideal. Um, the best way to be a true traveler is to at least travel once every 3 months. And
Right.
if you have a relationship overseas, you got to go see your girl at least once every other month or once 3 months, the most. Anything less than and more than that, dude, you're not in a relationship. You're pretty much in a pen pal, because let's just keep it a buck. You can't build a relationship like that overseas if you have to fly out all the way to Thailand or the Philippines. That takes about 30 hours to get there. So you could
Hmm.
just be there for 2 weeks out of the entire year. Like,
That makes sense.
let's just keep it real. You can't really build that relationship. So if your reason for traveling overseas is to find a wife or find a girlfriend, be realistic, man. Understand, like, okay, how far can I go and how long can I stay? And understand that, most average American only have 2 weeks of vacation time.
Right.
And most average black men do not work remotely, work on site.
Right.
So when you think about creating, when you tell other women here in the States that, hey, oh, I got my passport, I'm going to find me a girlfriend overseas, I understand why they laugh at you. It's like that doesn't seem real, because
Right.
especially with the growing perception of women, using the guys here in the States for money to take care of their family and so forth. In some cases, it is, it is true somewhat, but it's not always the case. There are women out there that are genuinely looking for love, but the thing is, Big H, and you could probably disagree with me or agree with me. A lot of
Hmm.
guys take that same fuckboy attitude, what they do in the States, to overseas.
That's definitely true on so many levels. You see a lot of that dirtbag. You see a lot of that dirtbag behavior, especially in how they treat especially how they treat people and how they treat other fellow brothers. It's very it's like come on, they bring that along with them, and then they wonder why they get the results that they get, or why they
Yeah,
wind up in the predicaments that they wind up in. It's kind of like they think once they come out of America and go elsewhere, it's again it's that Superman mentality. Nothing can touch me. I can do whatever I want. And nah, Doesn't work like that.
I totally agree. And I've seen guys literally take that same bullshit behavior, what they do in the States, to these other countries, and they literally display it. I've seen guys literally get into fights, arguments with the people, with the locals,
Yeah.
fight the locals, domestic violence. Like I've been around for so long that I've seen a lot of the fuckery that happens that no one doesn't want to talk about. So it's
Dude,
just like, okay, if you want to be a traveler, conduct yourself accordingly. Now,
mhm,
if you have a hard time finding women in the States, granted, it may be your environment, but
right.
at the same time, you may have to look at yourself. Are you the problem?
Not too many people are willing to do that.
Because I'm constantly hearing about the system, the court system, and everything else, but I'm like, dude, you don't have no kids. I'm like, you mean child support? Why are you even talking about child support, bro? You don't even have no kids. You never been married, but you want to talk about, alimony and all this. I'm like, bro, live your life. If you're not looking for that, then enjoy yourself, but just be honest. But here's the thing: you have a lot of guys selling dreams in these countries.
That is very true.
You out there
That is,
promoting, saying, "Hey, listen, I'm going to marry you. We're going to be together," while you out there trying to bang a friend,
oh,
a cousin. Come on,
yep,
come on, man. Don't that doesn't happen?
that happens. That happens. And the thing is like they look at it as if like and the common thing that a lot of them do is like they act like these people do not have no feelings, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, it's a dude. You are a you know I can't say that America even has a middle class anymore, but you're like below middle class. You 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 scrape together some money to go over, and then you want to act like Mr. Big Shot, but you're using again dirt bag methods on how you deal with people, and then you wonder why again these consequences and the consequences that these guys be facing. It's like you got to deal with their police and their judicial system and their way of getting justice. And then when that hit the fan, they're like, "Oh, well, how did this happen? Oh, I'm American. This shouldn't be happening to me." Yeah,
Hey, a lot of guys do get arrested overseas. I've seen it.
dude, I saw a guy get arrested like right at a restaurant. It's like 10 o'clock to 10. It's around 10 p.m. And this guy is getting arrested, and he's fighting the cop, like he's fighting the restraints and everything. And the only thing that's coming out of his mouth is like, it, it, oh man, I can't believe I'm about to say this verbatim, but this dude's like, call the embassy, call the embassy. No, I want to talk to the embassy. Call the embassy, call the embassy. I'm like, man, are you killing me? Dude, the embassy isn't open. One and two, even if they were, you acting like a dickhead out here.
And again, guys, we're not talking about everyone. We're talking
Not
about
everybody. No.
the delusional passport, bro. If it doesn't apply to you, don't get butt hurt. You know,
Right.
it's like we come in good intentions. It's just that we're not gonna ignore the fuckery that happens overseas. I know that a lot of these guys, looking for views and super chats and everything else, trying to paint, a perfect storyline about what goes on overseas is not always the case. A lot of guys do get scammed. A lot of guys do get got. A lot of guys do get jumped, physically jumped, robbed,
Right.
drugged. That's like the latest thing now, getting drugged and robbed. And it's
Killed.
like, and yeah, even killed. Yeah. But we don't want to talk about that because you know what? It's
Right.
not sexy. It's not fun. It's not a fun topic. When you go on a trip, you want to, everything's about fun, but they don't tell you what goes on every day there that happens to tourists, especially ignorant tourists. And a lot of you young guys, well, in this whole passport bro thing, you guys go there without planning, without really understanding the environment that you go into. I have gotten look, Big H. I had guys tell me, "Can I go stay in the favelas?" With this girl I just met. I say, "Why
Oh
would
man,
you want to stay in the hood in that particular country? You just met that person.
right.
Oh, I want to experience the culture.
That's
Like
not experiencing the
that's not
culture, my guy.
that's experiencing
Like
poverty.
that's
It's just like
experiencing the problems of the culture. That's a difference. There's a difference. Like there's some things that it's okay to be a gringo at, guys.
yeah,
It's okay to be a gringo, man. You could be a gringo and still get the experience of the land and of the culture, but while being a visitor, take take pleasure in being a visitor, man. You don't gotta be real. See that's kind of like the whole thing with like, oh, like here, where a lot of the mentality is just like, oh, if you're not in the hood, you don't come back to the hood, then
yeah,
you ain't real.
I
Just
agree.
like how you would not do that here, don't do it elsewhere.
I agree. And also too, guys, as Big H kind of mentioned before, dude, embrace you being a foreigner. There's a lot of pluses that comes with it.
Hmm.
You trying to blend in. This whole thing, you got to blend in with the people. Dude, you would never blend in. I'm
Oh,
sorry
you
to
stick out
say.
like a sore thumb.
Huh?
You stick out like a sore thumb.
Dude,
It's
you're
no.
not gonna blend in, man. You got them big ass Air Force Ones on, Jordans,
Right.
jersey. I mean, you're a big dude, or something about you that make you stand out. And of course, the guys that love wearing their jewelry, they're gonna have to wear their jewelry so they can let
Right.
everybody know that I got jewelry on.
Right.
Then you got your flashers, the ones that just want to throw money in the air,
Oh man.
living this whole flexing lifestyle, knowing that damn well they don't do that back home. And the sad thing is, guys, when you do that flexing, the locals are laughing at you. They're laughing at you, and plus, they're actually scheming on you.
They're counting. It's kind of like when we will play where us here in the states will play drinking games
Yeah,
just to watch what's going to happen. If somebody that we know is going to do something is going to do it, and then we drink to it. That's the mentality there. It's like, let's see if this Negro is really going to be a Negro. Is he really going to go ahead and just live up to the stereotypes? Oh, there goes the drink. Oh, I see money coming out of the pocket. Oh, wait, wait. Is he going to throw? Oh, come on. Everybody take a drink. That's that's the mentality, guys. Like, you don't have to be flashy to kick it. You don't. But
and the
hey,
thing is, the same thing that you think that women the same thing you think that women will like in the states may not apply overseas. Now,
oh no.
granted, are there gold diggers? Are there women that are looking for an opportunity? Yeah, they
All
may
day,
like
every
that
day.
flashiness. You wearing you wearing that Louis belt that it has to be seen by everyone. They may like that, but depending where you are, if you're around the educated class, they don't care for that. But if you're around more of the poor and working class, then they may care for that because that gives them status.
You know what's
You wearing a
funny
name
about
brand outfit gives you status. But if
you
you're
know
around more of the upper class, you wearing that name brand doesn't mean nothing to them.
you know what's funny about that?
Sure.
It's fun. What's funny about that is about the whole Louis thing is that they will go over there wearing that Louis thing, and the guys that live there will be wearing the same Louis,
Yeah.
the same thing, and guess what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's like an everyday thing. Yours may happen to be real. Theirs is fake. They look the same to them.
Yeah.
You'll
Pretty
be
much.
surprised how much they'll wear the name brand stuff, but over there it's counterfeit. And they guess what? They don't care about the counterfeit. It's just the matter of how what it looks like. It looks like money to them, and that's what it looks like. It's no difference with you wearing it.
I agree. I agree. And that's why it's like, this whole thing about traveling to find a girlfriend, find a woman, like, all these topics that's creating around passport bros. The reason why you're traveling is to find you a submissive woman. That should not be your reason why you travel. If anything, that's a sorry reason for the reason why you have a passport.
Yeah,
Again,
that should be one of those things that happen. And it's like, okay, it's a perk. but that thing should be something that's like by happenstance, and even if that is something that you're looking for, you gotta understand that it takes more than what just a weekend and maybe just even 2 weeks. It takes more to cultivate something real.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing is just like guys, this again, the same vetting process that you use here in the States, apply to it overseas. If you're gonna be here bashing people because they have a child or whatever, don't go overseas and mess with someone who has a child. You're contradicting yourself. And the thing is, and that's as I said before earlier, there's a movement that's happening all across Africa and Latin America. Women are fighting for their rights. They fighting for their rights to be treated equally, which I support wholeheartedly. They're fighting their rights to get better jobs, better pay, which I support. Now, if you out there looking for someone that's going to submit to you, cook and clean after you, dude, a lot of women's going to be pushing back.
And times are changing. Times are changing. It's not, um, usually, how would I want to say this? Like a lot of guys go looking for that, but they go looking for it thinking that it's like mandatory. That mandatory you're going to get that treatment. Um, and guess what? Really, at the end of the day, you're not really entitled to it. The only way that you're entitled to that is if you earn that. You have to earn that from whoever you're pursuing. They just, but a lot of guys don't get that. They don't understand that. They just feel like, the passport is just um
It's a gold ticket.
it's a gold, yeah, it's a golden ticket.
Look, I have 3 passport books, guys. I've gone through 3 passport books. It's just a book. That's all it is. A passport to me is a ticket. It's an access to other places that I want to experience. That's all it is to me. It's not my freedom papers. I'm already a free man.
Right.
It's not my ticket to find a woman. Look, I have no problem finding a woman here in the States. I don't have that issue. Now, I know Hank doesn't have that issue either.
Absolutely not.
So it's just like this whole storyline about the reason why you're getting your passport is to find a submissive woman, and it's not. Look, drop that shit, man. Because trust me, a lot of those guys in those countries are getting treated like shit too.
Or being played
They're
with.
being played. I seen it. I got
Whew.
stories for days. I got stories for days on local dudes that getting played. So it's just like this thing that you're gonna find this person, she's gonna be loyal to you while you only visit her once a year for 2 weeks or for a weekend. That's not realistic. Now, if you're willing to put in the work and travel there maybe once every other month, you're willing to establish a real relationship beyond Google Translate. Did I just say Google
Mm.
Translate? Yeah, Google
Might well
Translate.
do shots fired on that one.
Hey, that just slipped out of my mouth, man. But you know what? This deserves a bomb.
Yeah. Yep.
I've seen too many guys overseas. You don't call this a relationship when you both basically communicating through Google Translate.
Uh,
And this is 6 months now. You guys talking. I still doing Google Translate. I don't know how sincere that relationship is going to be, especially
it,
when you're lazy and when you're lazy, not speaking, learning how to speak the language. Like you're not making no effort.
no effort. At least make the effort. At least make the effort. The only time that should ever come up with the only time that should even come up is like if you're trying to say something a little bit more complex, you're still trying to get a grasp on the language. That's the only time. But dude, if you have been investing that amount of time already, learn the language, figure it out, put the effort in.
And again, guys, I don't want you guys to think that we're against this whole passport, bro. Look, you guys live it up, man. Live your dreams, travel the world, to get that money. I'm all about You guys making things happen in the business world, in the IT world. Uh, be that boss. Be that hard worker that making that six figures. We want that. And once you're making that money, we want you. But understand this, man. Set your expectations, man. Don't think that things gonna be all nice and gravy once you get there. Because again, you still consider it as an opportunity for a lot of people.
And the thing is, the thing that you gotta understand, guys, is like, okay, I forgot who made this, who said this quote, but if you cannot be used, what use are you?
Wow.
So you got to be, you got to understand that, life is give and take. You got to understand that mentality, but you decide ultimately who uses you and what you're used for.
And again, guys, if you meet a person that where you want to help, I helped a lot of people during my travels. I donated money, clothes, shoes, boxing supplies. I've done a lot, man, and I did it out of my free will. I didn't feel like no one played me when I actually decided to help somebody there. It was something that I felt like I wanted to do, and I was in position to do that.
Right.
But again, guys, be realistic about how people see you, and if you're going to the same countries where every other black man is going to, there's a good chance that you guys will probably share the same woman.
Huge chance. And you gotta and if that's you, more power to you. Because the thing is, like, if you accept that, then by all means, do what you're gonna do. But if you are just like, oh my God, this person is not truthful and not, well, what did you expect, man?
So I've seen. I'm looking at the video, man.
Oh man, that is
Hey,
that's hilarious.
but I'm speaking facts for this video, right?
Yeah.
Look, I seen guys literally throw their phone and break it out of frustration because they assume that this good woman that they thought they had was being loyal to them when technically she was not. And this is within the Facebook group.
Dude.
And the thing is, like, don't be surprised if one of your passport bros try to backdoor you. And just in case you don't know what a backdoor means, you want to explain that to them, Big H, or want me to?
You go ahead and do that because there's so many ways that could be interpreted.
Okay, all right, all right. A backdoor is old school. Backdoor is basically a dude knows that you're speaking to a girl, right? So what he does, he goes behind your back and try to talk to her behind your back and try to smash.
Mm-hmm.
This is very common, extremely common within this circle.
Right.
They don't talk about it, but this is a common behavior.
Right.
And it's just like, because again, a lot of guys don't want to put in the time and effort to go out there and meet other people. So you know what they do? They rather find something that's close and easy for them. Even it means they got to go through your woman of interest that you may have. And this is very common.
It's very common because a lot of people have that mentality. So you can run into a whole bunch of lazy people that are going to be doing the same exact thing. So if you're lazy, guess what? Chances are you're going to find somebody else that's just as lazy as you.
Yeah.
That's going to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and bum off of this guy.
And the thing is, don't be surprised if guys snitching on you, which is
Ooh.
very common within this travel movement. Again, guys, look, man, don't be stupid. There's a lot of shit that these people are not telling you. And again, we want you to get your passport. We want you to go out there and travel and see the world, experience the culture, the food, and everything else.
Right.
Have fun, enjoy yourself, but don't be delusional, man. If you're there in paradise for a weekend and just enjoy it and come back home.
Right. That's what
you thinking that you could convert someone. You could convert someone because you're sending them money or you're doing certain things. That's not going to work.
it's not going to. It's not going to. And the thing is that at least if you are, if that is your goal, I mean, at least if you're doing that, please understand. Like, just have common sense. Just realize that once you're back on that plane and you're going back home, it's a no go. It's a no go because as soon as you get on that plane, it's another one landing.
And what they say is just your turn.
Absolutely.
That's a like a manosphere term, right?
Yeah,
MGTOW
yeah.
term.
That is a manosphere term. That is
Guys,
not.
that
It,
same stuff, the same things that you apply with this whole manosphere thing and the states goes the same, it goes the same way overseas. No difference. And when you try to position one group of people above, above another, they're the same people. They just have a unique ways of doing things.
a lot of man, dude. I wish a lot of people understood that. That it's just that they don't speak your language. That's it. That's the only difference. Hypertrophy is still very much real, guys.
It's expected.
It's expected in all cultures. In all cultures. Oh man, look at this guy. Uh,
I mean, but come on, this is happening. This is what's happening now,
this is what is happening,
guys.
guys.
Unless you're willing to travel there as often as possible, this is the type of relationship you're gonna have. This is your wife that or girlfriend that you bragging about to other people that that you have through traveling. If you're not out there at least 2 or 3 times a quarter,
Right.
and
Be
if
this.
you go ahead,
My thing is, be this guy if you're going to be there like every 2 weeks. You
oh,
know.
once a month.
Yeah.
If you could be there 4 days a month, and she's mature enough to understand that relationship and not going out to these clubs and parties and everything else, and she's going to
Mature.
see you, which that's hard to find
It's difficult. It's very difficult.
because everybody wants this young thing. You notice that, right? You got guys literally in their 50s and 60s chasing after the same women that these younger guys are going for. So guess
Hmm.
what she's going to do? She's going to pick which one that provides the most resources.
Phew, man, that's a whole other conversation
Yeah,
with
man,
that one right there.
look, man, look, it is what it is. No one will come correct me because what I'm speaking is facts. I've been doing this for quite a while. It's not like I just got my passport 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
I experienced this shit myself. When I, between relationships, and I had someone overseas where it's like, all right, cool. This is becoming more like a phone relationship, and like this is not realistic.
You
Now, if you
gotta.
prepare, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, you gotta understand what the difference is between a pen pal and
Yeah.
a relationship.
Now, again, guys, the women there are gorgeous, gorgeous. Like I'm literally in Brazil in the meat department. I see gorgeous women packing up meat. Like it just, I'm like, wow. You come to the States, a NFL, baseball, basketball player would already wife that already.
Right.
But the thing is, over there, that's considered the norm. So you have a lot of guys that never seen a beautiful woman as beautiful and friendly. They go out there, they lose their mind. And the first thing they do, they get into a serious relationship with someone that doesn't speak the language,
Right.
that doesn't speak your language, and you just infatuated by her look, and you're just happy to, have some good time with her. Not
And
understanding that, like, listen, I don't think that's gonna last long. And I seen more relationship fail between Americans and foreigners than success, like far as traveling back and forth.
right.
Because it does take a lot of time and money to do that. It's not an easy thing, and it's not affordable.
It's not. And the thing is that are you willing? If you're going to be making those type of expenditures, as much as it is required to invest with time, to to have something realistic, then you got to do your due diligence and um, vetting that person, and also making sure that you are prepared for, what comes with that.
Yep. Yep.
As a
And don't get easily impressed by the fact that she could just fold your clothes and cook you dinner.
oh, that's the
That's
norm.
that's the norm. That's her culture.
But do
Like
you
for
know?
me,
But do you want to know something?
go ahead.
They understand that impresses a lot of guys.
Yeah.
They already know this. So when they do it, it's like a
Because
magic trick. Watch me make this guy say ah, and he goes,
because most
oh,
guys, man, what they do when they see when they watch her do that, they all gleed up, man. They're taking their phone out. Oh, look, guys, look at this. I'm like, that's embarrassing.
don't be that goofy uncle, man. That's like the goofy uncle. That's
It's,
that goofy uncle. Like, oh, look at this. Look at this. Somebody look at this. Look at this.
it's like that's their culture. And again, I was raised in that environment. So for me, that doesn't do anything. What impresses me the most, like, hey, you know what? She has a college degree. Oh, she's
Mm,
doing a thing out there.
mm,
She got her own apartment. She's not living with her family. And
right,
as much as everyone think it is, yes, it is the norm for most women to live to stay with the family. But now, as you said before, countries are changing. The social norms are changing within these countries.
right.
And again, a lot of women want to work. They want to be somebody. And
Huh.
you should not frown upon that. If anything, you should encourage it.
It should be encouraged. You know why? Because, all right, you got to think about the mentality of a lot of them there, because they have their own men that don't want to work,
Yeah.
and and expect the same treatment that these guys are traveling over there to get. They get it, and a
Well,
lot of
sometimes they force it. We know what
oh yes,
happens, man.
yes, that's true.
They don't
Yes,
talk
they
about the violence that happens, the
oh
murders that happens, the femicides that happen in these countries. Dude, I'm fully aware and what happens when a woman does not listen to her husband and what he does. They don't talk about those things.
disappearing, this go missing. This this stuff happens, guys. This happens. So you can understand why the mentality is changing, why it's gearing more towards, them being equal and wanting to, um, have their own, as opposed to being, traditional. So
And that's
here,
the thing. And that's the thing. You have a lot of guys going there. I'm looking for a traditional wife. Like, there's certain things that don't need to be said.
right,
It's just like I would never fix my mouth and say, I'm looking for a traditional wife that could cook and clean, iron my clothes. Are you that woman? Can you cook? Can you clean? Look
bro,
at her. Look at her. She's cleaning.
bro,
Like,
you sound like an interlude to a 1970s
dude,
slow jam or something.
I mean, that shit don't impress me, man. I'm like, man, look, for one, I guess because I've been living on my own. I was married, divorced now.
Yeah, right,
I'm living on my own again. I keep my spot clean.
absolutely.
I cook my own food. Like I
Hmm.
wash my own dishes and stuff like that. It's like, man, if she do it, I'm gonna do it. And I have this thing where, I'm seeing someone like she cooks, I clean.
Hmm.
Or if I cook, she's gonna clean. Like we basically, switch. If I feel
Right,
like, hey, you know what? Look, you look tired. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna stay up late. I'll take care of it. It's no
right.
big for me to go out there and just wash the dishes, man. I put my headphones on, listen to one of you guys host one of y'all YouTube shows, and I just listen to the foolishness.
And laugh. Sit back and laugh. Sit back and laugh.
Then, I mean, and again, we're going over an hour, but I want to like say a few things. Then
Yeah.
you got these passport bros who been to a country maybe a couple of times. Now they're bona fide experts. What's your thought on that? They're
Man,
expert on that particular country. Like they after two trips, they go to one little spot. They know the entire country already.
Look, listen. I grew up and was born in the Bahamas, and I've traveled there, countless times. I can't tell you everything there is to know about that. I am no expert. I still don't consider that. That's my attitude towards anywhere that I go, even if it's been multiple times. I don't know everything. There are some things that I'm going to have to go to someone that actually lives there, an expat or something, to understand what needs to be done or how to move. I, the best thing that the greatest thing that you can ever do to you for yourself is to always be a student and never try to be a master.
Yes, I totally agree
Too
with
many
that.
people are trying to do that, and that's where people get caught up. That's how a lot of guys get caught up because they work off of misinformation or rookie information that's going to get you hemmed up.
I totally get that. And it's just like you got, guys giving other guys ill information where it could literally put these guys in danger. You have
Literally,
guys literally going to the hood of these countries where it's not safe, letting them know, hey, you should come into this particular area, and if you want to look for something, it's like, come on, guys,
a
don't
lot of
be
these
that.
guys, a lot of these guys are doing it for clout. Also, oh, look at me, I'm in the favela. Oh, I got close ties. I got close ties. Uh, uh, Dude, it's man. And then you wonder what happened. Guys are in the middle of the hood, don't speak the language. One, don't know nobody. Then the person that invited them there, and get stuck.
As Big H said earlier, man, it's okay to be a tourist. It's okay to be a foreigner. Embrace
Right.
it. That's what you are. You're not a local. If you're looking for love, if you're looking for a relationship, be realistic, man. Be realistic with yourself. How often can you go to that country and establish a real relationship with that person? Are you willing to learn the culture, the language, the customs of that country? If you're not gonna have a relationship that long. You're pretty much gonna have more of a arrangement.
And are you
And
gonna be okay with that
yeah,
arrangement?
yeah, are you gonna be okay with that? Because it's a
Can you be?
possibility that she may be seeing another person too, which guys don't want to talk about. See, stuff like that they don't want to talk about because it's gonna hurt their bottom line. It's hard for you to think that like the same shit that you talk about, bashing women here in the states. They don't do this, they don't do that. What makes you think that they don't do it over there in that country either?
Well,
And most of the country these guys are going to, and let's just keep it a buck. There's a lot of single mothers out there.
oh, crap load,
So
crap load.
you're here talking about one group of women, yet you're going to the place where there's more of them.
You
So
can't
again,
find one without. Honestly, I I dare you. I dare you to try to. It's like a dime. It's like a diamond in the rough, man. That's
and again, guys, I know a few guys who are married to foreign women, and they're happily married. I actually attended a couple of weddings. I attended one earlier this year, a beautiful wedding, you know, and a brother of mine's, you know, got married to an Afro Colombian. It was a beautiful wedding. I attended the wedding. To see two different cultures to come together as one. That's a beautiful thing. You
yeah.
could find you could find a good woman in these countries. You can. But the question is, are you willing to put in the work? If you're not willing to put in the work, you just want to come out there and party and do your thing, get drunk, turn up, then do that. But don't try to send conflicting messages. One minute you want to do this, the next minute you're not, because guess what? It's not sustainable.
Not by far not. You can't just teeter on the tightrope there. You got to choose the side as to, and if you're going to go ahead and just move over to the other side, then commit to that too.
I agree. I agree. And again, guys, don't leave with your wallet and your dick in your hand, because
Oh
they
no,
they
no, remember,
they
wallet
could put
and passport.
yeah, they could They can point you out so damn fast. I could point you out. They could point you out.
Right.
Don't walk around with that thirsty look on your face, man. A lot of you guys do that. You guys like, oh wow, oh damn, damn girl, turn around. Oh man, you saw that? And the local guys looking at you like, damn, they ain't used to seeing these type of women.
Yes, the
Like the local
same.
men are laughing at you.
It's
It's like, yeah, it's nothing.
like regular for the ooh,
But
tell
then
you
again,
what,
guys
man.
be like gawking loud with, and they loud with it, man. I'm like, dude, use some level of discretion, man. Play it cool a little bit. She
You
probably
know,
wants you more because you just cool.
if you just cool, calm, collect, yeah. But some guys can't help but to call attention to themselves. So, hey, look at me, and look what look what I got. And really, it's like, come on, yeah, what you got is gonna be here when you're gone.
And the thing is, guys, listen, man. Again, you could find a good woman, if that's your goal, but just don't lead with that. Understand that the reason why you got a passport is to escape and explore your options, see the world, experience something different.
Mm.
Don't lead as a way for you to like talk down, a group of people just to uplift another one, knowing that this other a group of people could do the same thing that the other group of people that you just put down on.
And
So
do
just
it
be,
worse.
yeah, yeah, just be mindful of that, man. And understand, listen, if you can't travel as often as you think you can, be realistic with your expectation, with your traveling expectations. Not everyone's gonna speak English. Not everyone's gonna like you. I mean, as much as people want to promote that, hey, you get there and they're gonna love you. No, that's not the case. Some people don't. There's some people that don't want to be bothered by you. You step up to them, they look at you like, what the hell you want?
Right? And there's some that just don't particularly care for
Black
you.
folks.
You, yeah, they don't.
Let's just
They
keep it
don't.
real, man. There's a lot of people out there that don't care for your black ass. It is what it is. Much as man, these YouTubers, man, they be saying, yeah, they love black men. They love black men.
I,
Mm-hmm.
I,
Like, hey, listen, if they treat the black folks in these countries a certain way, what makes you think they're gonna treat you any different? The only difference is you just got money.
and they have to treat you that way.
Yeah. Guys, understand that there's classism, colorism, racism, all the isms you could think of exist in those countries too.
Yep.
Don't believe this whole, oh, we're colorblind bullshit. If
No.
you really pay attention, see how the society runs in these countries, you'd be amazed where most black folks are normally at.
The,
So
the only thing that's different is that the currency is different. Exchange rate is different, and again, it's not attached. It's not a superpower. Can you imagine that certain of these certain countries were superpowers or close to it? What
wow.
the mentality would be? That whole black they're gonna be like yeah, buddy, go ahead and take your black ass back on that plane.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I mean, look, again, as much as everyone wants to paint, hey, black men are loved everywhere. That's not always the case. There's a good percentage of people that don't want to fuck with you simply because of the color of your skin, and that's facts. And that's all across Asia, South America, I mean Latin America, Europe. So always keep that in mind. It's just like you're not gonna be accepted in love everywhere you go. So don't think that hey, I got a passport, I'm gonna go to Poland, I'm gonna go to Russia. It's just like do your research, man.
And the
Talk to
people that
go ahead.
and what's crazy about that is that the people that I know that are actually in Poland or in Russia, these are doctors and
Yeah,
uh, surgeons and guys working in IT like to the highest level. Those are who, and those aren't even getting fully accepted. They have the
great.
money, they have the lifestyle, but even them are not being completely accepted by the whole country. Like, come on, you gotta uh, common sense. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say common sense. Common sense.
I have some comments, and I'm gonna read them out to you. Then we're gonna close it out.
Sure.
Again, it's a work day. We both got to work. We both got kids to take care of, and home. So look at this. This from Global Paper. 98% of black men traveling are delusional. They,
mm.
their travel game is weak. They can't speak the language. They don't understand the culture. They are in these countries making themselves and us look bad. Do you agree or disagree?
98% is definitely high, but I can understand the argument. It is the majority. It is the majority. You only find, I would say, 10 to 15 or even 20% of people that are not, that actually sit there and do the research to understand what is required of them, or if not what's required of them, or just how to move. They,
True.
they will actually go ahead and do that. But there's majority of them that will just go ahead and listen to a YouTuber and say, "Hey, jump over here. The water's warm."
Yeah, that's very common, man. Here's the number for Trey D, man. If your body ain't right and your paper ain't right, you're not getting no play in Africa. That's a fact, man. Africa, man, they care about image. That's something I noticed when I was in South Africa, like the way you look and the way you dress, and
hmm
if you could actually give them some type of status, dude,
Dude,
that's what actually, in some cultures in Africa, depending on what country, you got to do some type of payment to the family. I forgot what it's called. Where you got to buy a certain amount of goats and cows and stuff like that.
yeah, they still keep to those customs.
So if you complain about, paying the bill at Denny's, what makes you think?
And here's the thing: you go to Africa, you look at this, look at their fashion sense.
Yeah,
You see the suit game, dude. If you really think about it, in the last 10 years, the suit game that has flourished now here was so taboo, but back in Africa, those guys been dressing the
yeah.
way that you know uh, that now is just catching on here. So imagine not saying you, but imagine the basic traveler going over there. Yeah, I'm American. You go over there, these guys are outshining you.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're going to another country, you need to make sure that you outshine the locals. Now, granted, if you're comparing yourself to a middle class, upper class man in that particular country, then yeah, you guys should be in an equal playing field. But anyone less than middle class, you should definitely be above them, like
Mm.
socially and economically, because again, the women naturally want a man that has resources. Everyone wants that.
That's a rule
Global
that will never
paper.
change.
There are YouTubers, no names mentioned, who are in Brazil and other countries today, making themselves look like an idiot, posting videos of them walking up to girls and the girls looking at them crazy. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I seen some of those videos. I'm like, yeesh. And they're asking really dumbass questions too. Kevin, the cool guy, what's good, chat? Facebook
But
user
Kevin,
chat. Traveling overseas can be affordable depending on your financial priorities and how simple your lifestyle stateside. I agree. I think if you could actually live below your means, but yet still live, like still enjoy yourself while you're in this country, yeah, you could do the same thing overseas. This whole monk mode thing, I don't believe in that. I think you still need to enjoy your life because you live here. Now,
right.
if you decide to go monk mode for 8 months out of the year so you can ball out for 1 month, that's on you. But it's just not sustainable in the long term. You can't just not have a life and just have a life overseas.
And even in it being affordable, I'll definitely agree with you on that. But again, in order for it to be affordable, you have to have the mindset to look for those deals and to
Yeah,
look for the right thing and to be able to live be, uh, uh, below your means. Still, it's still an expenditure. It's still an expenditure that's way more than you would usually make on a regular weekend or a regular week that you're deciding to travel. So even though it's affordable, yes, it's still not an expenditure that you would most likely do every week or every weekend.
I,
So it's
I
still
totally
money being spent. But a lot of guys don't have that, don't have the wherewithal to budget, to look for those deals, to you know a lot of guys are just like they either just throw their hands in that they're not gonna do it unless it's lavish, they're in first class, or they gotta get a villa, they gotta yeah.
No,
So
and you're right, and you're right. And it's like for me, whenever I travel, that's an expense. I'm not gaining nothing out of it. I'm not making any money. And as a contractor, dude, the days that I miss, I don't get paid.
yes, you don't.
So like when guys say I'm gonna be out there for a month, not working, like, dude, that's a good amount of change for me. So I got to make sure that when I travel, it makes sense because I know for a fact that when I'm gone, I'm not gonna make any money. Especially if I'm going to a new country, I'm not gonna work. I'm gonna really go in and just take those days off and enjoy myself.
Hmm.
Las Vegas said me and all my military buddies had to go monk mode when we were deployed to Iraq. Laughing out loud, never again. Again, the monk mode is not realistic, man. You could probably go monk mode for 3 months, and even that's kind of difficult. You got to have a social life. I mean, as much as you want to live overseas and do things overseas, you still have a life here. You still should, go out and mingle, pick up a new hobby, do something. Don't become an incel because that's what I'm seeing within this whole passport bros. I'm seeing a lot of incel behavior.
Hmm.
I don't know if you noticed that. It's just I'm seeing a lot of
It
finger pointing, a lot of blaming.
it's
I
a
see no accountability.
it's a lot of that incel living, and I'm like, guys, just stop being angry.
Yeah,
Stop being angry with what happened to you. Yeah, it happened to it. It happened to all of us. All right,
I agree.
it happened to all of us. All of us at some point in time got played. Somebody treated us wrong. Something happened. Okay, man, it happened. That don't mean that you got to go around being mad at the world and then just structure your life around you being mad at the world. You could actually go ahead and just learn about yourself and learn to love yourself and learn what you like and become an individual. And when you become that, then there's a lot of things that won't bother you, and a lot of things that you won't allow to bother you. So, you know, doing this whole incel thing when you're just mad at everything and you're just going to go ahead and go into a cocoon, it's not healthy.
And
It's not
also
healthy.
too, you used a perfect analogy, going to this cocoon. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult for you to break out of that. The longer you stay in that cocoon, the longer it's gonna take for you to get out of that. You can't just turn it, on and off switch that whole monk mode, angry man type of guy to travel overseas and be cheerful and happy. You can't.
No.
So what I've noticed, the same angry man that is mad at the world that's still not dealing with his issue here in the States is taking that same energy overseas. And I met those guys.
Oh, you'll find them.
Buck
You'll
Travel
find them.
says, looking for love abroad will get you heartbroken. Travel to have fun and explore. And again, I agree with you, but also too, I think you can find love if you're willing to put in the work. Go
Right.
out there, put yourself in a position where you can meet quality people. Don't continue to go to the same destinations where every guy goes to have fun, trying to find love there because you will get heartbroken. These men aren't even wifing up regular high quality women from these countries. They want long term relationship with a pro. Wow.
Mm,
I didn't say that.
I didn't say it either. I got
I could have said
nothing else to say, bro. I am
that.
not trying to get stomped out, bro. But I mean, I granted I can hold my own, man, but I am not
Yeah,
going to
and,
get
and you're a
stomped
big
out.
guy too, bro. It's like, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna read this again. These men are even wifing up regular high quality women from those countries. They want long term relationship with a pro. It's a lot of truth to that, guys. A lot of truth to
Guys,
that.
just man, let me tell you something. Look, WhatsApp is a mug. I'll tell you that, bro. Because you want to know stories and how they play out. Watch
Oh man.
statuses on WhatsApp.
Oh, I
It's
know.
hilarious.
It's very telling, and the thing is, they don't realize that, especially like the women, they tell on themselves through those
Oh
WhatsApp
man,
stories. I'm like, okay, and again, guys, be careful, man. Be careful. Be careful in Sasua. Be careful in Copacabana. Be careful in
Coca Chica.
Cartagena, Medellin, or the Santo Domingo, Puerto Plata.
Hmm.
I mean, be careful. It's like because everyone is going there, man. And if you guys not willing to branch out to go somewhere different, and again, immerse yourself in that country's culture, look, you're gonna get played, man.
Oh,
Because
and be
trust
careful,
me,
careful in
right?
Pattaya,
Oh, Thailand, Pattaya. You
dude.
got like 60 black men over there right now.
Hold on, man. I just saw. I am not. It was like clockwork. I was like, dude, it's only a matter of time. And sure enough, there was a video of a
Guy making it
past.
rain.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
why?
It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time, man. It's just like again, and Friday we're gonna have a discussion around this whole passport pookies. And
Oh yeah,
sometimes I think it's not even the passport pookies. These are your passport lames, the ones that
lame.
trying to
Hmm.
live. They trying to live this life that they can't live in the states. Because I know most passport pookies can't even travel. The
They
pookies and
can't.
railways that I know, they can't even travel.
They can't because that privilege has been taken away.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is that you got the lucky few, and then you got the ones that are trying to live out, trying to live a different identity because they're not happy with who they are when they're here.
Hmm.
So
Um, Saint Cyr says dudes think with the wrong head. True. They lead with their dick in their hand, and they're just like, and it's so obvious, man. Some of these guys make themselves look so damn thirsty, man. Like I see guys fighting over another guy. I've seen guys literally try to outbid a pro. They try to like, the dude has a pro in his hand, about to take care of business.
hold up, I
Dude come
seen that. I
dude came up
seen
to
that.
him, to the girl, and said, "Hey, listen, whatever he paying, I pay double." I seen that shit happens, man. I seen that
I
happen in front of my face. And I was like, I'm looking at the guy like, wow, you actually did that. You
and it
actually did that shit.
and be proud of it too.
Yeah. Flexing, man. I'm like, yep. That's why I don't be around certain people. I just can't be around them, man. The reason why I'm traveling is to get away from y'all, not be around y'all.
And not be around you. And when I see them, I go the other way. Go the
Marty
other way.
says, Marty says, a socially awkward dude here will be taught of the same way by women overseas. They may just hide it more better. Okay. So yeah, it's true. It's just like if you're socially awkward and you're not used to dealing with women, women will pick that up real quick. Hey Bobby.
Hey, what's up, guys? How
Hey,
y'all
nothing
What's up,
feeling?
much.
Bobby?
Yeah, I'm
How
doing
you
good,
doing?
man. And what are your thoughts on the subject, man?
Yeah, I'm kind of late to it. I just saw you was live, whatever. So I just hopped on.
Okay,
So
okay.
we talking about the like. Give me up to speed right quick because I just saw it. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
hopped
yeah.
on. I heard y'all talking about Pattaya. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's actually about, the delusional passport, bro. Like guys thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And you have a lot of people selling this dream that, just get your passport, go overseas, and everything will be fine. And it's really not the case. If anything, a lot of guys get fucked over overseas.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that completely. We had a conversation before. I think it was like one of your previous podcasts. I want to commend you because you're doing the community a great service by actually having these discussions and being willing to take the fire from having these discussions. Because I know dudes are always going to be calling you out. This dude is hating. You
Oh
don't
no,
know
hey,
nothing.
listen, guys. I'm being called a hater, or I'm going against the grain. I'm fucking up, opportunities for them and this and that, whatever. But I'm like, bro, you're selling a false dream, and it's just like there has to be some type of check and balances here. You can't just go ahead and say one thing and it's really not the case. So hence why I don't get a lot of views. Hence I don't get a lot of people want to come on my platform to collab with me. I don't get that because I'm like the outsider. But then again, I look at myself, I'm like, nigga, I've been more places than you. It's just like, so it's just like, huh?
Nah, I'll say facts, but go ahead.
So I get that a lot, but it is what it is, man. I think if anything, all I'm doing is just passing the torch to the next generation. It's like, hey, listen, guys, I want you to be a smart traveler. All this social media hype about, you traveling because you're trying to find a submissive person, dude, don't lead with that. Don't ever lead with that. Because trust me, a lot of these women don't want to do that. I mean, it's part of their culture. They do it naturally, but it's just like, don't expect that, for her to do that and you're not being a man or the head of the household taking care of your issues, taking care of the house issues and everything else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is like everything you just said. I agree with because like I don't know where people were getting this notion like just because you leave the borders of America that the world changed. Like is America like in a vacuum? Like women are different. Like I don't understand where people keep coming up with this notion. That's why I feel like the whole discussion about women being more feminine or submissive is like it's a non-factor because like if you are the man, like, let me take a step back. Women will be submissive and feminine to guys that they want, hands down. I don't care if you're in America. I don't care if you're in Colombia. I don't care if you're in Thailand. I mean, just like okay, there's good girls and bad girls everywhere, but like yo, women are malleable. They can adapt to the situation if they want to, but you have to be that dude that displays the traits that show them okay, I want this dude. I'm willing to change my behavior for them. But a lot of these dudes are just not putting in the work. That's why they like okay, they treat the passport like they won a prize. Like they got like a PhD or something like that. Like bro, you don't need to like make posters like, yo, I got my passport. You didn't accomplish something yet. Now, if you say I built like a seven-figure business in a foreign country, okay, I'll give you props for that. But just like going to another country and then messing around with pros, because that's what they mostly mess around with is pros.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Because like, come on, I'm gonna keep saying, there's no girl that I met with, I've ever messed with that was like, okay, let me jump on this live, let me tell her to spin around, show her stomach, do all sorts of nonsense, and she was down with it. She was like, what? Like, who do you think I am? I got self respect.
I
But
agree.
yeah,
I
yeah.
totally agree.
So
Very true.
go ahead.
No, no, I totally agree with that. And it's just again, it's the false storytelling behind all this. It's great that a lot of guys are traveling and seeing the world. I want you guys to do that. I built a platform, a website, a Facebook group, educating guys and encouraging guys to go out and travel. But understand that I'm keeping things real. And you guys know within the Facebook group, I let you guys know what goes on in these countries. And just to tell a guy, hey, get your passport and show it up, and everything's gonna be fine. That's not the case. It's not gonna work that way.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. But okay, I'm curious. Like, do you think that this whole passport bro notion would have got as big as it is if it wasn't for like YouTube and like people could see it now? Okay, because I kind of felt like once people saw like Kevin Samuels and they saw the amount of money he was making by just saying high value. Because that
yeah,
was that used to be the hot junk. Everybody wanted to be high value. Like I'm high value male, but I make $30,000 and I work in a warehouse somewhere. But I'm a high value male. So do you think that this whole notion of being like a passport bro would have happened without the YouTube and the Kevin Stevens before that? Because I don't know, I don't really know who's in the panel, so I will throw
yeah.
that to you, and everybody else.
Uh, Big H, you want to answer that first, and I follow up?
I definitely feel like it's that was the start of it. Because again, Manosphere definitely gave birth to that. And again, it's all for what gets views. It's all for those keywords. Saying those keywords is what gets the algorithm to kick the viewers over to you. So in a sense, that's what a lot of the guys are doing. Just repeating those the same talking points. Just like Kanal said before, rookies becoming experts, just saying, "Hey, just get a passport, come over here."
Yeah. I'm gonna piggyback what Big H just said. I think social media definitely has amplified the whole relationship issues that we have within this country. Of course, with rest in peace to Kevin Samuel, who was preaching about man being high value. Now you don't hear about man being high value now. Now it's about being a passport bro. So for throughout the entire pandemic, it was all about being high value, making six figures, working 70 hours a week, wearing suits to get your passport. Like fuck all everything what he said within the past 2 years during the pandemic. Now just get your passport and just go away.
Yeah, it's not a
And
substitute for working on yourself,
yeah, and it's
which
just
was what
like
she was advocating.
yeah, which I still stand by. I still believe what everything he said. Um, I think right now is a clickbait. Passport bro is a clickbait. Anything that's around passport bro is a hot topic because when you think of passport bro, you think of relationship. And it's kind of fucked up because passport has nothing to do with relationship. But
It doesn't.
we made it to as relationships. So whenever you hear a woman talking about a passport bro, what comes to mind? Oh, he's running away, he's trying to find someone cheap, they chasing after pussy and everything else. But I'm like, that's not what a true passport bro is.
The
At
whole
least,
divesting.
yeah, the whole divesting situation. So I'm like, since when did this passport thing correlates to finding a relationship overseas? That's never been the case with why black men traveled. And it's just like that's what's being pushed. So now from becoming, from being high value black men to now being a passport bro.
Mhm.
So we kind of scaled down. We kind of went down a little bit from being high value, chasing that six figures, doing everything you can to now like, all right, we're gonna do all those things, but yeah, we're gonna get a passport and go overseas and find a wife. And do what? Are you gonna bring her back here in the States? No. So you're gonna find a woman overseas and not bring her back in the States. No, I'm gonna just keep her there so she can stay there. So I don't want her to get corrupted. That's the shit that I'm hearing a lot.
I hate
So
that shit. Sorry to interrupt, but I hate that shit with a passion. Go ahead.
like, I'm gonna find me a good woman, keep her where she lives because I don't want her to be corrupted. So you have guys getting married to these women, keeping them in the same environment. Like, at least upgrade her to a more middle class environment. Most guys keep them in the same environment. But what they do, these guys will move into that environment. So you left your gated community or wherever you live safe to live in this certain environment because you don't want to pay a certain price or a price point. I've seen that a lot. Then if a guy decided to bring his wife and his daughter or his son back to the States, oh no, what you doing? Don't bring him back to the States, man. They're gonna leave you. What the hell you doing? It's like the hell. A man cannot even bring his own wife, his foreign wife, back to the States because he's gonna be shamed by the same people that's encouraged him to get a passport.
Exactly, and that comes with another thing too, because they already feeling their people that are saying that already have in their minds that um I'm already not the man here. I'm the man over there. But bring this person over, you're gonna find out that I'm really not the man here, and somebody that is the
Right.
man is gonna go ahead and just run rum shot. So that's the whole that's the whole fear thing.
I'm
And
gonna tell you this, guys. And again, I've been doing this shit for quite a while. I've met guys who brought their foreign wives back to the States and kept them in the house. Like they literally
Right.
watch
Kept them in
like
the house, like they let them leave the house.
they
Like
were not allowed to leave the house without them.
easy.
And yeah, I look, I shit you not. I've seen it where they will bring these girls, from the small countryside to the city, whatever, either be Atlanta, New York, whatever, and they literally will just keep them in the house because they insecure that they may find someone that is younger or more attractive than them. So that fear factor, or maybe it could be somewhat controlling, where it's like, hey, listen, I don't want to lose my chance because you know for a fact that you sold this dream that you were this big shot back in our country. And when she comes here, she realized that you live in a trailer park. That's very common.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's very common, and it's been common for like years, man. That's something that years that people guys have been doing. It's not. It hasn't been talked about now until like the forefront now.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of like one of my like biggest issues with the whole how the whole passport bro movement is moving, because all the whole movement is based on low self esteem and insecurity. How everything they talk about is not coming from a place of somebody who's like, yo, I feel like I am the guy. I am high value. I'm enough. Cause like I can't bring my wife back. Like think about that. Think about saying I never had a conversation with any of my friends or my associates like, yo, oh, I can't bring my wife a certain place. Somebody gonna take her from me. Like what man you know talks like that?
90 men that I know. And that's
Yeah,
why I find it comical when I hear guys say that. It's like, well, don't bring it to the States. But dude, okay, if you're not gonna bring it to the States, then you better put her in a gated community in her country. You better put her in a better situation. Don't let her stay in the same community where you met her. Because let's just keep it real. Most of the travelers are not meeting quality grade women. That's far as that's educated, they have their shit together. Majority are not. So it's just like if you're gonna
yeah,
meet a decent woman that you know you could actually groom and make her and put her in a better position, then you better do it, man. And again, you have guys selling these dreams, and the guy, again, guys, if you're there to have fun, just let it be known you're there to have fun. Don't try to play these games, man, because so many dudes out there are selling these dreams, thinking that hey, this girl's gonna marry, she's gonna get married to you and it's gonna come to the States and all that stuff, and that doesn't happen because you really want to just fuck around. And a lot of us are starting to get a bad rap in these countries because that's what we're doing. We just fucking around.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening. The reputation is being pushed on us.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, thank God, I have someone that I've been with for quite a while. And again, it wasn't easy, but we made it work. And it's just like it's me flying her to see her, or she coming here to the States. But it takes a lot of time and effort. It's not easy, man. Any relationship is not easy. And this whole notion that, hey, you don't want her, you want her to stay home and just cook and clean, all that, man. I don't want that shit. Like I want a woman like I understand my role as a husband, and I expect my woman to understand what's her role as a wife. But at the same time, we're still partners. Like, hey, listen, she come to me with some business ideas. If it seems doable, let's do it. You know, if I have a woman that speaks Spanish, hey, you know what? You be the face of the business. I don't need to
Hmm.
be the face of the business. I could be the back end. You know what I mean? It's just like understanding when it's okay to let your girl lead. But
Right, because
guys think,
you're both individuals. You come in, you happen to make, coming into a relationship together. So as long as you guys kind of map out the fact that okay, you're coming together as one, but you're two individuals coming together as one, then you support each other. You support each other by, okay, I'm going to do this is my role, this is my role, boom. But again, you got to remember, it's two individuals coming together to be to in the hopes of becoming one. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And again, guys, we're not bashing you guys, the passport bros. I mean, the delusional passport bros. Like, I understand you're new to this, but don't travel stupid. It's just be mindful what you're doing. Understand the expectation you set, and be honest with yourself. Because as much as everyone else trying to push that, it's easy for you to find a woman overseas. It's not. It's no different than you finding a good woman here in the States. And again, majority of you guys are going to the same watering hole where every other dude is going to.
same watering hole.
I call it a watering hole, man. You ever see like the Africa, the one of those deserts where all the animals come together, the crocodiles, the hogs, the elephant, they all come to that same little watering hole.
Yep.
Everyone is pretty much eating shit out of the same water. And it's just like, and that's common, man. I've seen it too many. I've seen this happen many times during my travels. And
Hey, and
you think you got a good one, you really don't.
you really don't. And my thing is that if you're gonna do that, just do it with the understanding that that's what it is.
Oh man, it's been 12:13. We all got to work tomorrow. I got to work. Got to wake up my little one, take him to school. But hey, let's just close it out, man. I mean, again, it's not a fun topic. It's not a topic that guys want to hear, but it's the
Mhm.
truth, And I think this needs to be more conversation needs to be had. I think a lot of the OGs, a lot of the veterans, such as you guys, should be talking to these young bucks and let them know what's going on. Trust me, there's nothing new under the sun, man. Nothing,
Nothing new.
nothing, man.
And
And if
again,
anything, go ahead.
not like again, man. I can't. I don't see myself as a teacher, man. I see myself as a student, always. And best I'm going to be able to do for you is be like, okay, look, this is what the answers are on the test. This is what I've learned so far. Here you go. Here's my notes. I'm still learning though.
Yeah, I'm still learning too, man. I'm going to Thailand next month. Oh shit, next week.
Oh man.
Dude, I'm nervous, man. I ain't gonna lie, Bobby. I'm nervous, man. It's just whenever I'm going to a new country, man, I get them butterflies, man. I'm like, yeesh. And
Look, man. We waiting for that report.
oh yeah, it's gonna be thorough, man. It's gonna be thorough. I'm not holding nothing back, man. It's just like, hey, this is what it is. Post-pandemic, this is what Thailand is, But overall, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. Again, guys, we're not haters. To be honest, we really don't care what you guys are doing. We just want you guys to hear the truth, man. That's it.
Absolutely.
Understand that, it's not about just getting your passport, canceling for Western relationship, all this bullshit these guys are talking about nowadays. Look, live your best life, man. You can still find a good woman here in the States. You can find a good woman overseas, but like everything else in life, you got to put in work. You have to. And it's just like nothing good is gonna come that easy to you. If you want that good woman, you want that awesome digital nomad life, or you want this successful business, you gotta put in work, man. This whole thing, just get your passport and just show up, and everyone's gonna accommodate to you. That's not gonna happen. If anything, you're gonna experience more leeches before you start experiencing flowers.
Well said.
I mean, do you guys agree or disagree? I mean,
I agree.
I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah, because anybody who's traveled anyway, like if you don't know anything about the country, just showing up, yeah, they're gonna get you because they can see you coming a mile away. They can see how you move. They can see how you just like the look of your eyes. Yeah, it's not a game out there, yo. Especially if you go to Thailand is super safe, so you have to worry about that. But yeah, sorry about the noise, guys. I'm on a train. I'm headed somewhere, but yeah.
Okay.
If you have to another country like Colombia or the South American countries, you got to be safe. Even some countries in Africa, you got to be safe. So yeah, it's definitely not a game.
Okay. Yeah, man. So with that being said, it's 12:17 Eastern. We want to go ahead and close it out. I guess I could just close out the last statement, guys. Um, all we're doing is passing the torch to you guys, man. Don't lead with your heart, don't lead with your dick in your hand, and don't lead with your wallet. Understand that a passport has a start and an end date. What you do between that start and end date will dictate the type of experience you have. Now, if you're looking for something greater than what you want to do on your vacation, you gotta put in work, man. Expand your choices, go to different places. Don't go to the same typical places that every guy is going to. And listen to the veterans, man. There's a lot of guys out there that have a lot of experience, man. Don't be quick to call them a hater because because you're not liking what you're hearing. All we trying to do is make sure that you guys are okay overseas because we're tired of hearing that you guys getting played, drugged, robbed, killed, and it's just like I'm not gonna tell you just get your passport and just go overseas without properly planning and understanding what you're getting yourself into. I'm getting ready to go to Thailand. I'm not gonna say that I'm nervous. I am nervous. But I have a notebook of all my notes. I've been speaking to veterans like Bobby and other people out there to teach me the rope and taking their advice. I'm taking all that stuff into motion. I'm always learning, like Big H just said. I'm always learning, always sponging more information and from other people. So don't be that delusional passport thinking that you getting a passport is going to save your life and make your life easier. It's not. It's just a place for you to spend your money. That's what a passport is, man. You're spending money, you're not making any money unless you have your own business where you can use it as a tax write-off or your digital mail. You can make money while you're traveling.
Right.
If you're not doing none of these things, it's just a big expense bill. That's all it is, man. So with that being said, man, just want to say thank you guys. Happy Thursday. And I'll talk to you guys on Friday, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it, guys. Good night.
Good night, Kanal. Take
All right,
care.
good night.
All right.